Learn English through story. The promise of a candle. In a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a humble candle maker named Elias. Known for his skill and precision, Elias crafted candles of all shapes and sizes, from simple tallow to ornate wax creations. His shop was modest, but it was always filled with the warm glow of the candles he made, casting a gentle light that beckoned villagers inside. Elias lived alone, having lost his wife, Maria, many years before. He had no children, and though the villagers admired his work, they knew little about the man himself. He was quiet, reserved, and kept mostly to himself, pouring all his energy into his craft. One evening, as Elias was closing up his shop, a young woman named Isabella hurried in, looking distressed. Isabella was well known in the village for her kind heart and cheerful demeanor, but tonight she appeared deeply troubled. "Elias," she began, her voice shaking slightly, "I need a candle, not just any candle, but one that will burn all night, no matter what. My mother is gravely ill, and I fear she may not make it through the night. I want to stay by her side, and I need a light that won't go out." Elias listened carefully, his heart aching at the young woman's plight. He had known Isabella since she was a child, and he remembered her mother as a kind and gentle soul who had often visited his shop. Without hesitation, Elias took a tall, sturdy candle from his shelf and handed it to her. "This candle will burn through the night," he said, his voice gentle. "It's made with the finest wax and a wick that won't fail you. It will light your way and give you comfort." Isabella's eyes filled with tears as she accepted the candle. "Thank you, Elias," she whispered. "I don't know how I can repay you." "There's no need for repayment," Elias replied, waving away her concerns. "Just take care of your mother." Isabella nodded and hurried out of the shop, clutching the candle close to her chest. Elias watched her go, feeling a deep sense of purpose. He knew that the candle was more than just a source of light, it was a symbol of hope in the face of despair. That night, Elias found it difficult to sleep. He couldn't stop thinking about Isabella and her mother, and the candle he had given them. Though he had made thousands of candles in his lifetime, this one felt different, as if it carried a piece of his own heart within it. The next morning, Elias opened his shop as usual, though he felt a lingering unease. He was arranging his candles on the shelves when Isabella walked in, her face pale and her eyes red from crying. Elias's heart sank at the sight of her. "She's gone," Isabella said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "My mother passed away just before dawn." Elias felt a profound sadness, not just for Isabella's loss, but for the failure of his candle to keep the darkness at bay. He had hoped that the light would somehow protect them, that it would stave off the inevitable. But death had come, as it always does, indifferent to the flicker of a flame. "I'm so sorry," Elias said, his voice thick with emotion. "I wish there was more I could have done." Isabella shook her head and managed a small, sad smile. "The candle burned brightly all night, Elias. It didn't fail me. It gave me the light I needed to hold her hand and say goodbye. I knew that when the flame finally went out, she was at peace." Elias was silent, his emotions a tumultuous mix of grief and relief. He had given Isabella the light she needed in her darkest hour, but he hadn't been able to protect her from the pain of loss. It was a humbling realization, one that reminded him of the limits of his craft. As the days passed, Elias found himself thinking more and more about the nature of his work. He had always taken pride in his candles, in the light they provided to those in need. But now he understood that the light they offered was not just a physical one, it was also a metaphorical light, a symbol of hope, comfort, and connection in times of need. Inspired by this revelation, Elias began to craft a new type of candle. These candles were infused with the essence of the flowers that grew around the village: lavender for calm, rosemary for remembrance, and rose for love. Each candle was carefully made, not just with wax and wick, but with the intention of bringing comfort and solace to those who needed it most. The villagers quickly noticed the difference in Elias's candles. They seemed to burn brighter, last longer, and fill their homes with a sense of peace and warmth that went beyond their physical light. Word spread, and soon people from all over the region were coming to Elias's shop, seeking candles that can light their way through the darkest times. Elias never forgot the night he gave Isabella the candle, and he never stopped thinking about the role his candles played in people's lives. He realized that while he could not change the course of life and death, he could offer something that was just as important as a small light in the darkness, a reminder that even in the hardest of times, hope and comfort could still be found. And so, Elias continued his work, knowing that each candle he made carried within it the promise of light, not just to illuminate a room, but to warm the hearts of those who needed it most. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.